Is it possible that a single night at a stadium in Goyang Sports Complex main stadium could change the way the world defines the perfection of a performer? Or instead trigger emotional fractures among millions of fans who have long believed that a figure like Jungkook could never be questioned? That question is no longer mere speculation. It has transformed into a living, breathing global debate that has continued to evolve since the night of April 9, 2026, when BTS shook the world stage once again through their grand concert on the Arirang tour. What was initially expected to be nothing more than a musical celebration turned into something far more complex, a moment that fused extreme admiration with unexpectedly emotional division among fans. It all began with a phrase that seemed simple yet deeply loaded: God of the Stage, a title given by Korean media to Jungkook, which within hours spread across digital platforms, sparking waves of reactions filled not only with praise but also with lingering questions. Was the title an objective recognition of extraordinary ability, or merely a media construct, too fast, too grand, and too absolute to be accepted without criticism? That night, the rain fell without compromise. Its drops didn't just soak the stage, but created a dramatic, almost cinematic atmosphere. Stadium lights reflected off the wet surface, producing a visual effect that made every movement Jungkook made look like part of an epic narrative. When he stepped onto center stage wearing a shimmering golden-brown snakeskin jacket, ripped jeans, and heavy chains hanging from his outfit, the public did not simply see an idol. They witnessed a transformation, or at least that was how most of the audience felt. But was that transformation truly real, or merely a collective illusion amplified by expectation and emotion? From the very first note of the song Hooligan, something felt different. Jungkook's vocals sounded stable, powerful, and controlled, even in the midst of harsh weather conditions. He wasn't just singing, he was leading. His movements were firm yet fluid, his expressions intense yet composed, and his presence seemed capable of pulling the entire stadium's energy into a single focal point. Himself, Korean media did not hesitate to call him the God of the Stage, highlighting how he shined with unmatched presence through vocals and performance. Yet behind that statement lay a far more complex layer of interpretation. What does unmatched truly mean? Does it imply that Jungkook has surpassed his fellow members? Or is it simply a form of hyperbole common in the entertainment industry? This is where the narrative begins to shift. On one side, ARMY, the famously loyal and dedicated BTS fanbase, responded with overwhelming euphoria. Social media was flooded with clips of Jungkook's performance, vocal analyses, and praise that almost bordered on the religious. Many argued that the title was not only deserved, but long overdue. They pointed to Jungkook's consistency over the years, his ability to remain stable under extreme conditions, and his ever-evolving artistry. But on the other side, more critical voices began to emerge. Not many, but enough to spark intense discussion. Some fans questioned whether the use of the term God was excessive. They worried that such glorification could create unrealistic standards, not only for Jungkook himself, but also for the other BTS members. Is it possible that praise at such a high level becomes an invisible burden? The debate intensified when some fans began comparing vocal distribution within the group songs. There were those who pointed out that although Jungkook often receives fewer lines in certain tracks, he still manages to steal the spotlight when performing live. This raised a new question. Has BTS's distribution system limited Jungkook's full potential, or is it part of a larger strategic design? The Arirang concert itself became the perfect stage for this exploration. Songs like Aliens, They Don't Know About Us, and Merry-Go-Round gave Jungkook the space to showcase the full spectrum of his abilities, from soft, emotional vocals to high-energy, charismatic performances. Each song felt like a chapter in a larger story, where Jungkook was not just a performer, but also a narrator. Yet behind it all, there was one thing that could not be ignored: the audience's reaction. The roaring cheers echoing throughout the stadium were not just expressions of appreciation, but reflections of ever-growing expectations. Every movement, every note, every expression was analyzed, recorded, and shared. In the digital era, no moment is truly private. Everything becomes public consumption, and in Jungkook's case, that consumption reached an almost obsessive level. Is this the price of being called the God of the Stage? Some industry observers see this phenomenon as a turning point in Jungkook's career. They argue that recognition from Korean media is not merely a reflection of one night's performance, but the accumulation of a long journey filled with dedication. However, they also warn that such labels can create disproportionate pressure. In a world where expectations continue to rise, how can someone keep meeting, or even surpassing, standards that feel nearly impossible? Amid all this debate, one thing remains clear. Jungkook has created a moment that cannot be ignored. Whether it is seen as the peak of his career, the beginning of a new phase, or even a point of controversy depends entirely on perspective. What is certain is this: that night in Goyang changed something. Not only in how Jungkook is seen by the world, but in how the world sees itself within the context of idols, expectations, and reality. What once felt like simple praise has evolved into a symbol of something much greater, a reflection of the complex relationship between an artist and their fans, and perhaps, that is where the greatest surprise lies, that behind the glaring lights, the thunder of the stadium, and the seemingly absolute title, there remains a question that continues to echo, quietly yet persistently. Are we truly witnessing the birth of a god of the stage? Or are we the ones creating him together? As that question began to echo louder across the global digital space, the narrative surrounding Jungkook was no longer controlled by a single party. It no longer belonged solely to the media, not entirely to BTS, and not even fully to himself. It had become part of collective perception, a space where admiration and doubt coexist, reinforcing and colliding with one another at the same time. This is where the intensity shifted into something far more complex. Many fans began revisiting old recordings, comparing era to era, trying to pinpoint the exact moment Jungkook transformed from the golden magne into the figure now called the god of the stage. Did it happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, or in a single leap sparked by the concert at Goyang Sports Complex main stadium? There is no single answer, and that is precisely what deepens the mystery. Some music analysts have even approached the phenomenon from a more academic perspective. They dissect his vocal technique, noting how his breath control remained steady in heavy rain, how his transitions between notes flowed seamlessly without losing emotion, and how his articulation stayed clear despite constant movement on stage. Yet behind these technical observations lies a question that cannot be answered by numbers or theory alone. Can Jungkook's excellence be fully explained scientifically, or is there an intangible element of charisma that defies measurement? Meanwhile, another side of ARMY began to reveal a more emotional dynamic. Some felt overwhelming pride almost beyond words, while others began to sense a distance. A strange, invisible, yet tangible gap. Those who once felt close to Jungkook as someone within reach started to wonder whether the label God had placed him too high, too far to be emotionally touched. Ironically, the higher the praise rises, the stronger the urge becomes to question it. Some comments on social media have shifted toward deeper reflection. Is this title truly about Jungkook, or about a human need to create a figure of perfection? In the history of entertainment, the idea of a stage god is nothing new. But in the context of the digital era, where every moment can be replayed, magnified, and endlessly analyzed, the weight of such a title becomes far greater. And in the middle of it all, Jungkook continues to perform, without offering clarification, without directly responding, as if allowing the world to debate about him while he continues doing what he has always done: singing, dancing, and bringing the stage to life. Perhaps that is where his most genuine strength lies, not in the titles given to him, nor in the praise he receives, but in his ability to remain present amid a storm of expectations without losing control of who he is.